In a tense classroom at Jiangcheng No. 2 High School, a chalkboard announces just 1 day left until the unified exam. The class teacher, Chen Fan, gives final instructions. He tells students taking the liberal arts exam to prepare the IR stationery and gives a more serious reminder to those taking the martial arts exam to prepare the IR combat gear and weapons. Teacher Chen Fan then warns about the deadly risk of the martial arts college entrance exam. He strongly advises any student with an awakened ability below D level not to take it. From his seat, a student named Xu Jingming smirks, feeling the teacher's warning is directed at him. He thinks to himself that he has transmigrated into this world, called Blue Star. It is technologically similar to his old one, but it is also inhabited by ferocious, bloodthirsty beasts. To counter this, some humans have awakened superpowers. In this world, people can awaken various abilities at age 16, which are rated on a scale from F to S. However, the majority of people only awaken skills between F and D. As he considers his own power, a small flash of lightning appears. He reveals that his ability is an E-grade weak electricity, and he notes with disappointment that its power is only comparable to a simple stun baton. As Xu Jingming reflects, a blonde-haired classmate, Lin Tian, taps on his desk. He mockingly asks if Xu Jingming still plans to take the martial arts exam, calling him E-grade trash, who would only shame the school. Lin Tian suggests Xu Jingming should just choose liberal arts and offers him a future as a small clerk in his company. Before Xu Jingming can answer, a female classmate, Lin Qingli, stands up and tells Lin Tian to mind his own business. Annoyed, Lin Tian scoffs at her and promises to show her who is best during the exam. As he walks away, he glances back and adds a cruel remark, predicting Xu Jingming will die on the exam grounds. After Lin Tian leaves, Lin Qingli turns to Xu Jingming with concern. She advises him to ignore Lin Tian's words and suggests that switching to liberal arts might not be a bad option. Xu Jingming listens to her silently, his expression unreadable. Lost in thought, Xu Jingming looks at his Great Xia Unified Exam Registration Form. The form lists his E-level elemental ability. In the Great Xia Kingdom, education is split into liberal arts and martial arts. Those with low-level abilities can choose liberal arts for an ordinary life. The martial arts path is far more dangerous. Students must enter a designated area and fight fierce beasts to the death to pass. Only by surviving can one hope to enter an ability user university. There, with years of training, even an unranked person can become a truly powerful ability user. Xu Jingming understands why his teacher and Lin Qingli are worried. He knows they fear what might happen if he takes the exam. However, he also recognizes that he cannot escape the constant threat of the beasts. This thought triggers a painful memory of a beast tide from his past, where he knelt as a child crying over the lifeless bodies of his parents. The memory strengthens his resolve. He doesn't want to be powerless again. With determination, he holds up his registration form and firmly declares that he will still choose the martial arts exam. As the sun sets, Xu Jingming is in a training hall, practicing relentlessly with a long spear. He channels his electrical ability into the weapon, causing blue lightning to crackle along its length. With a cry, he executes a powerful swing. The intense training quickly leaves him drained. He lets out a large yawn, complaining about how tired he is, and then collapses onto the floor, his spear falling beside him. Lying on the ground, Xu Jingming thinks about his training. He has been practicing with the spear for 2.5 years. Despite his efforts, his proficiency is still at a beginner level. He bought a spear technique called Lightning Gale Break for 300,000, which he believes makes him a little stronger than other ordinary E-class awakened ones. As he lies there, a grim thought crosses his mind. He knows the death rate for students below D class in the exam is increasing every year. This thought strengthens his resolve. To get into an awakened university, he must be prepared to fight with everything he has. He pushes himself up and approaches a machine, clenching his fist. As his hand nears the machine's panel, a blue holographic interface suddenly materializes, displaying "System Activating." Xu Jingming's eyes widen in shock as he tries to comprehend what is happening. The system's activation finishes, and a new message asks if he wants to claim the newbie gift package. Still on the floor, he realizes this could be the legendary cheat system for transmigrators. His shock turns into excitement. A wide grin spreads across his face as he wonders what the gift package contains. The system immediately reveals the contents: an S-rank super ability and 200 ability points. He is momentarily speechless. An S-rank ability is exceedingly rare. In a major country like Xiahua, a person with one is instantly recruited by top universities and cultivated into a powerhouse. Xu Jingming is stunned by his unbelievable fortune. The revelation fills him with hope. He realizes that even though he was born as E-rank trash, this system gives him a chance to change his destiny. With a determined grin, he reaches out his hand, crackling with his old weak electricity, and says, "Claim," accepting the gift without hesitation. Immediately, 3 system windows appear. The newbie gift package is claimed, 200 ability points are credited, and the system begins distributing his new S-rank ability, Purple Cloud, Thunder, God's Lightning. The power surges directly into his heart. The process is incredibly painful. An immense power erupts from within him as violent purple lightning surges through his body, tearing his shirt. A progress bar appears, slowly climbing as the energy explodes outwards, shattering the interior of the room. The blast is so powerful it blows out the apartment window. The commotion is noticed on the street below. A woman points up at the strange energy, and her child asks what is happening. A young man frantically makes a phone call, urging someone to call the fire department for the Shu family's child. Inside, Xu Jingming writhes in agony as the integration continues past 50%. On the streets, people look up as the sky turns dark and ominous. Above the apartment, a colossal dragon formed of crackling blue lightning materializes. The event attracts powerful individuals. A man in a high-rise wonders if a powerful beast is invading. Elsewhere, a military commander orders Jiang Cheng's 3rd Legion to high alert. Back at the apartment, the lightning dragon swirls in the sky before diving back down, funneling its immense energy into Xu Jingming's body. Xu Jingming lets out a final scream as the system's progress bar jumps to 100%. The light and pain fade, replaced by a simple message, "Ability transformation complete." The overwhelming energy subsides, leaving Xu Jingming in his devastated training room. He slowly clenches his fist, feeling the immense power he now commands. Potent blue and purple electricity crackles around his hand. A confident grin spreads across his face. He recognizes this S-rank ability is on a completely different level. He thinks his old ability was like an electric baton, but this new power feels strong enough to shatter a person with one strike. His excitement is lessened as he sees the destruction. The windows are shattered and the walls are cracked. He thinks the commotion was a bit too large and feels relieved he managed to control some of the energy. He then remembers the other part of his reward, 200 ability points. He wonders aloud what they are for as he touches the system interface. The system explains that ability points are obtained by killing fierce beasts and can be used to increase his levels and skills. A mischievous grin returns to his face. He expresses his delight at the simple cheat system and tells it to open the system panel. A detailed status screen appears, displaying his new profile, his name, his level as an unranked awakened, his new S-rank ability, Purple Heaven Divine Thunder, and his 200 available ability points. With the unified exam just 1 day away, Xu Jingming's eyes glow. He knows he must use these 200 points wisely to maximize his combat power. Lightning crackles around his hand as he tells the system to allocate the points for him. Xu Jingming decides to use his points logically, reasoning that all abilities come from the human body and spirit. He chooses to strengthen these 2 attributes first. As the system processes the points, his stats for physique and spirit quickly increase. A surge of dark purple energy erupts and swirls around him. He looks slightly dazed, marveling at the feeling of his vital energy and thoughts being enhanced. Clenching his fist, he feels the new power inside him. He throws a test punch, and a vortex of blue and purple lightning explodes from his fist, a display of power far beyond what he could do before. He looks at his hand, surrounded by crackling energy, and understands that by raising his basic attributes, his control over his combat skills and powers will also be stronger. The system panel confirms the upgrade, showing his physique is now 141 and his spirit is 160. It explains that each ability point was equal to 0.2 units of vital energy, or spirit energy. A confident grin spreads across his face. He believes that with his current strength, getting into an Awakener university will be easy, but he wonders how he now compares to the other 700,000 candidates in the province, especially the geniuses trained since childhood. Deciding to find out, he kicks his spear up from the rubble on the floor. As he catches it and slings it over his shoulder, he resolves to go to the martial arts hall to test his new power levels. As he prepares to leave, his apartment door is suddenly kicked open. A team of 3 firefighters bursts in, ready to fight a fire, leaving Xu Jingming stunned. The lead firefighter, looking confused by the lack of a fire, explains they received a call about a fire at this location. Standing in the wrecked room, Xu Jingming calmly explains that the commotion was caused by his ability training, and that everything is now fine. The lead firefighter accepts the explanation, knowing that incidents with awakened individuals are common. He radios his team to fall back. As he leaves, he looks back at Xu Jingming with admiration, thinking how formidable the younger generation is to cause such a commotion just by practicing. Shortly after, the fire truck drives away. As Xu Jingming, now in his school uniform and carrying his spear, walks down the street, a neighbor he calls Uncle Yang asks if he is okay after the fire. Xu Jingming reassures him everything is under control. Noticing the spear, the neighbor praises him for being so diligent, practicing even with the exam the next day. The story then explains that martial arts halls are important in this world. To advance, an awakened person must train their physique and spirit. The halls provide training grounds, which are essential since not every family can afford a private training room. The two most famous martial arts hall chains are Thunder and Brutal Bear. Xu Jingming arrives at the Thunder Martial Arts Hall. The narration explains that the Brutal Bear Hall is expensive, mainly for students from rich families. The Thunder Hall, however, is free for all high school students, making it very popular. Inside the busy hall, Xu Jingming sees a familiar face in a group of students. The girl, with long black hair and red eyes, is Tang Qi, his cousin. He approaches her and asks why she is at the Thunder Hall. Surprised to see him, Tang Qi replies that she just came with a friend. Xu Jingming politely excuses himself, telling Tang Qi and her friends to continue their visit while he heads to the training room. As he walks away, Tang Qi watches him, thinking he seems a bit different. Her cheerful friend, Xiaoya, is immediately taken by Xu Jingming's appearance, calling him handsome and asking Tang Qi who he is. Tang Qi explains he is her cousin, Xu Jingming, also a third-year student taking the martial arts exam tomorrow. Xiaoya swoons, saying he would make a great boyfriend. A male friend teases her for falling in love, and she enthusiastically agrees. Hearing this, Tang Qi decides to bring her friend back to reality. She reveals that Xu Jingming's awakened ability is only E rank. The news shatters Xiaoya's fantasy, and she cries out what a pity it is. The male friend smirks, commenting that it's commendable for someone with an E-rank ability to take the martial arts exam. Tang Qi, however, looks worried, saying courage is meaningless when the risk is so high. Changing the subject, Tang Qi reminds the group they are there to visit the hall. Xiaoya agrees, mentioning she's spent all of high school at the expensive Brutal Bear Hall and suggests relaxing before the big exam is a good idea. Meanwhile, Xu Jingming finds an empty training room. He stands before a large, round target with his spear. As he grips it, he notices it feels much lighter. He realizes the spear hasn't changed. His own body has become much stronger. He considers that this old weapon might not be suitable anymore, but with the exam tomorrow, there's no time to find a new one. He decides to first test his peak physical strength without his lightning ability. He takes a deep breath, tightens his grip, and thrusts the spear forward. The weapon slams into the center of the target with incredible force. The strike leaves a spiderweb of cracks in the advanced training target. A digital display above it flashes the number 321. The room's equipment is made from a special memory metal, allowing it to automatically repair itself. Xu Jingming is astonished. His pure physical strength has doubled. He knows the strongest output for a normal, unranked awakened is only around 100 calories, making his base strength exceptional. Satisfied, he decides to try his new S-rank ability. His eyes glow blue as he prepares to channel the purple heaven's divine thunder. Arcs of purple and blue lightning crackle around his body. With a powerful leap, he brings his spear down on the target, creating a massive explosion of electrical energy. He looks up at the new reading, an incredible 3,021 calories. Xu Jingming is thrilled by how powerful his S-rank ability is. The standard for a first-tier awakened is only 1,000 calories. The fact that he, still unranked, can unleash an attack comparable to a mid-tier first-tier awakened shows his new potential. But he isn't done. With lightning still crackling around him, he declares that this is not his limit. He decides to use his true killer move, a technique stacking his enhanced strength, his ability, and his combat skills into one strike. He channels all his energy into the spear, which becomes covered in intense purple lightning. He swings the spear in a wide arc. As the spearhead nears the target, the lightning condenses into a single, bright sphere of power. With a fierce cry of "Break!" he unleashes the attack. The spear connects, resulting in a massive explosion of purple energy that completely engulfs the target. The force of the attack sends a shockwave through the entire martial arts hall. In the main stadium, students are shaken, with one crying out, wondering if it was an earthquake. On the training room floor, Tang Qi, Xiaoya, and their friends are thrown off balance. The male friend recognizes the powerful energy fluctuations, stating they are on the level of a true awakener. They wonder if a new Awakener-level high school student has just appeared since all the known ones train at the other hall. Driven by curiosity, Tang Chi says they should go see. The group follows the trail of energy down the corridor. As they turn a corner, they come face to face with Xu Jingming, who is leaving the area with his spearhead now wrapped in a cloth. Tang Chi calls out to him, surprised to see him there. Xu Jingming calmly says he is heading home to prepare for the exam, giving no hint of the power he just used. His friend wishes him luck but dismissively tells the group to forget him, pointing to the training room Xu Jingming just left, saying the energy came from there. The group approaches the door. Peeking inside, they see a scene of total devastation. The advanced memory metal target has been completely destroyed, and the reinforced wall behind it is a massive crater of rubble. The entire room is a wreck. Tang Chi, Xiaoya, and the others can only stare in pure shock, unable to comprehend the level of destructive power that was just unleashed in a high school training room. Staring at the destruction, Xiaoya exclaims that even the advanced memory metal was blasted through, which would require an incredibly intense attack. She wonders if any high school student in their city of Jiangcheng is actually that powerful. The brown-haired male friend dismisses the idea. Touching the crater's edge, he says the residual energy feels too violent for a high school student. He theorizes it was a powerful second-order ability user who mistakenly entered the student-level floor. Another friend agrees, adding that even a genius from the provincial capital couldn't do this, making it impossible for such a person to be in their small city. Xiaoya, however, suggests a different theory. She points out that the only person they saw nearby was Xu Jingming and excitedly suggests he might be a hidden super genius. Her friends ridicule the idea, with one asking if she's been reading too many novels. The other points out that Xu Jingming is a known E-class user who would be lucky to have an attack strength of 300. Her friend offers a more logical explanation, suggesting the powerful user simply left through the other corridor. He then turns to Tang Chi, who has been silent, and asks for her opinion. Tang Chi simply answers, "Maybe," stepping forward to inspect the damage. As she runs her hand along the shattered wall, she notices the impact marks look like they were left by a long spear. The image of her cousin with his spear flashes in her mind. A deep suspicion forms, and she silently wonders if Xu Jingming taking the martial arts exam is really him overestimating his abilities. The next day is clear and bright, the day of the martial arts exam. Dozens of buses arrive at a massive, fortified venue, dropping off students armed with various weapons. Among them is Xu Jingming, walking with a calm and confident stride, his spear on his shoulder. The students gather by a tall fence, looking into the exam grounds with a mix of awe and terror. One student complains nervously, recalling that past exams had much weaker beasts. The consensus is that this year's exam will be incredibly difficult. As the students share their fears, an arrogant voice cuts through the crowd. A long-haired young man with a large sword scoffs at their cowardice. He declares that anyone who can't deal with a unicorn rhinoceros is useless, leaving the other students speechless. Nearby, Xu Jingming's best friend, Liu Ji, asks who the arrogant guy is. Xu Jingming identifies him as Zhou Mingyang. Liu Ji explains that Zhou Mingyang is a well-known genius with a B-class ability who has already advanced to become a first-order ability user, a rare feat for a high school student. Xu Jingming looks at the prodigy with a confident smile and a competitive glint in his eye, silently wondering who is stronger. Suddenly, a loud voice calls for the candidate's attention. A stern-looking man with a scar, dressed in a military-style uniform, introduces himself as Wang Haiyang, the chief commander of the exam. He says that before the exam begins, he will review the important precautions. Standing on a military vehicle, Commander Wang Haiyang announces the exam will last 12 hours, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. He gestures to the vast, ruined town that serves as the exam venue. He explains that it is divided into 4 zones: outer, central, inner, and core. Students earn points by killing beasts, with the score increasing based on the beast's rank and strength. The commander's expression turns grave as he gives his final warning. He says the core area is like a bonus question, meant only for the top students. He urges everyone to act according to their abilities and not foolishly risk their lives for a higher score. Listening to the commander, Xu Jingming reflects on his own abilities. Before his power-up, he would have been limited to the outer area, but now, filled with power and ambition, he is determined to charge deep into the inner circle, and perhaps even challenge the core area. An announcement is made for students to get their exam supplies. Xu Jingming and his friend approach their teacher, Chen Fan, who is handing out tactical backpacks. Xu Jingming receives his pack, which contains a smartwatch for tracking points, a backpack with energy bars, a drink, and a medical kit, and a safety ball that can create a high-voltage grid to ward off beasts. As teacher Chen Fan hands Xu Jingming his supplies, he offers one last piece of advice. He reminds Xu Jingming that his life is more important than anything, even if using the safety ball ends the exam early. Xu Jingming respectfully thanks his teacher. Just then, a familiar voice calls his name. He turns to see his classmate, Lin Tian, running towards him. She kindly offers him a spot on her team. With her is their class president, Liu Qin, a C-class user who says he will protect Xu Jingming in the exam hall. However, another student objects, arguing that the exam is a serious competition. He complains that taking on an E-rank student like Xu Jingming will hurt their chances of getting a high score. Another teammate angrily agrees, accusing Liu Qin of changing their plan. The two objectors make it clear they don't want to be saddled with a burden. The insults infuriate Xu Jingming's friend, Liu Ji, but Xu Jingming calmly holds him back. With a polite smile, Xu Jingming declines the offer. He tells Liu Qin and Lin Qingli that he appreciates their kindness, but plans to go in alone. A concerned Lin Qingli reluctantly accepts his decision, urging him to be careful. The student who had complained smirks and suggests they go find the powerful Huang Tian to team up with instead, letting out a mocking laugh as they walk away. Xu Jingming watches them go with a confident smirk of his own, thinking that he is more than capable of getting a high score by himself. An announcement rings out, declaring the official start of the exam. A fleet of drones swarms into the sky, ready to live broadcast the event. The massive gates open, and a flood of students charges into the ruined city, shouting their goals. Among the crowd are Tang Qi and her friends, a determined-looking girl with a large sword, and the top contender, Zhou Mingyang, who uses his wind ability to leap ahead of the pack. In contrast, Xu Jingming remains calm. He takes a single step, then breaks into a steady run, his spear in hand, thinking that the exam has finally arrived and he is ready. As he runs, he taps his smartwatch. A holographic screen confirms his identity and displays the real-time rankings. The top 3 spots are already filled, with Zhou Mingyang in first place with 7 points, followed by 2 other students. Xu Jingming looks at the leaderboard with a confident smirk. He notes that Zhou Mingyang has already started killing beasts, but the early lead only fuels his own competitive spirit. While others fight in the outer sections, Xu Jingming decides on a bolder strategy. He resolves to waste no time and head straight for the high-risk, high-reward core area. As he moves deeper into the ruined city, he suddenly stops. Ahead, he discovers a gruesome scene: the lifeless body of another student in a pool of blood. Beside the body is an unused green safety ball, showing how fast the attack must have been. Xu Jingming is disturbed by the sight. He realizes the student didn't even have a chance to activate his last defense. The grim reality of the exam hits him, and he understands the weight behind his teacher's and the commander's warnings. He thinks that if he hadn't received his S-class ability yesterday, he could have easily ended up in the same state. Steeling his resolve, he accepts the brutal nature of the exam. He kneels beside the fallen student and uses the boy's smartwatch to call for the body to be retrieved. He reflects that opportunities always come with risks. Suddenly, he hears a noise nearby. From the shadows of a ruined building, a large clawed paw silently appears. A moment later, a ferocious shadow cat with glowing purple eyes emerges. Xu Jingming instantly realizes the horrifying truth. The beasts had left the dead student as bait. It's a trap, and the beast lunges towards him. Despite the shadow cat's terrifying lunge, Xu Jingming remains perfectly calm. The beast growls menacingly as it pounces with incredible speed, its shadowy claws extended. But Xu Jingming is even faster. With a fluid, casual movement, he sidesteps the attack, letting the beast fly past him. The shadow cat lands gracefully, its glowing purple eyes locked on its prey. Its reputation is well earned. With an agile body, sharp claws, and a bite force of over 1,000 kilograms, it is a deserved newbie killer. It lets out a ferocious roar, trying to intimidate Xu Jingming. As he faces the beast, Xu Jingming thinks about what makes these creatures so dangerous. He knows fierce beasts have a special, terrifying aura that can paralyze their prey with fear. He's heard that most awakened people, when facing a fierce beast for the first time, become helpless under this pressure, unable to use even 30% of their strength as they wait to be killed. He thinks about how wealthy families hire bodyguards to take their children into the wilderness, to get them used to this aura from a young age, a privilege he never had. Knowing this is his first true battle against a fierce beast, he readies his spear as the shadow cat lunges at him again. The beast closes the distance instantly, its mouth wide open, but Xu Jingming stands his ground, completely unaffected. Arcs of purple lightning crackle along his spear as he channels his power. In a single, swift motion, he thrusts the spear forward, the lightning-infused tip piercing through the shadow cat's head and killing it instantly. He looks down at the dead creature with a thoughtful expression. He realizes the beast's intimidating aura had no effect on him. A moment later, a blue holographic window appears from his smartwatch, confirming the kill. Killed one unranked fierce beast, a shadow cat. Ability points, +3. A note explains that fierce beasts are ranked from 1 to 9, and those below rank 1 are unranked, corresponding to unranked human awakened people. Xu Jingming looks at the map of the venue on his watch. He considers that killing beasts grants him ability points, but he seems unimpressed by the small reward, thinking that unranked beasts give far too few points. Realizing he is unaffected by the intimidating aura of fierce beasts, Xu Jingming concludes there is little point wasting time in the outer area. He resolves to get to the more dangerous central area as quickly as possible. He begins his journey deeper into the exam venue, cutting a bloody path through the unranked beasts. He effortlessly kills shadow cats, iron-furred pigs, and wolf-like creatures, gaining a steady 3 to 5 ability points with each kill. However, he identifies a flaw in his approach. While he has gained ability points, he recognizes that he lacks actual combat experience. His new S-rank ability is so overwhelmingly powerful that it kills unranked beasts instantly, preventing him from honing his fighting skills. He also considers the high energy cost of his new power. He knows higher-ranked abilities consume more energy. Unlike his old E-rank ability that could last for hours, he can't maintain his S-rank power at full strength for even an hour. With the exam lasting 12 hours, he understands he cannot waste energy before reaching the core area. He decides on a new strategy. He will kill fierce beasts using only his spear technique to gain experience and conserve power. Just as he makes this decision, a new, much larger threat appears, a formidable bipedal unicorn rhinoceros. The massive beast roars and charges, tossing a wrecked car aside with its immense strength. Instead of retreating, Xu Jingming stands his ground and faces the charge head-on. The powerful impact of the rhino's horn sends him flying backward. With incredible agility, Xu Jingming uses the momentum to flip himself in mid-air, positioning himself directly above the beast. Before the rhino can react, he dives down, landing on its back and plunging his spear deep into its skull with a single, precise strike. The massive beast collapses, defeated. Breathing slightly, Xu Jingming is surprised by how much faster his killing speed has become, noting that even a powerful beast like the rhinoceros wasn't much of a challenge. A thought strikes him, and he wonders if his spear technique broke through to a higher level without him realizing it. He summons his system panel, which confirms his suspicion. His spear technique has leveled up to the intermediate stage, and his ability points have risen to 256. He concludes that relying on his spear technique is the most effective way to boost his strength. Feeling how fluid the intermediate technique is, he wonders what would happen if he improved it further. Using his accumulated points, he decides to upgrade his spear skill again. The effect is instant. A massive influx of advanced spear techniques and complex movements floods his mind, integrating into his muscle memory. He clutches his head, amazed by the sheer volume of skill he just acquired. With a wealth of new techniques, Xu Jingming feels a surge of confidence. Gripping his spear, he stands tall amidst the ruins with a predatory smile. He declares that he can't wait to find a first-rank, fierce beast to test his new skills on. At the same time, in another part of the outer area, Lin Qingli and her team are moving through the streets. Suddenly, Lin Qingli stops, puzzled. In the distance, she thought she saw a familiar silhouette. She voices her thought, saying she thinks she just saw Xu Jingming. One of her teammates dismisses the idea, asking if she's seeing things. He argues it couldn't be Xu Jingming, as it would be suicide for someone with his E-rank strength to be this deep into the exam zone. Lin Qingli is filled with doubt, but can't shake the feeling that she saw her classmate. She begins to worry about him. Her thoughts are interrupted when another teammate calls them over. The group rushes to find him standing before the massive, freshly killed corpse of the unicorn rhinoceros. They see that the blood on its wounds isn't dry, meaning it was killed just minutes ago. They examine the fatal injury, a clean, penetrating wound to the head made by a long-handled weapon. One of them exclaims that it's a spear wound. The pieces click together in Lin Qingli's mind. The spear wound, the timing, and the silhouette all point to one conclusion. She wonders aloud if the person she saw could really have been Xu Jingming. The skeptical teammate scoffs at the suggestion. arguing that a unicorn rhinoceros is a beast that only a C-rank awakened person could defeat alone. To settle the argument, another teammate suggests they check the score rankings. Without hesitation, Lin Qingli activates the leaderboard on her smartwatch. As the rankings appear, her eyes widen in shock. There, in 46th place with 256 points, is Xu Jingming, Zhangcheng Second High School. She exclaims that it really is him. Her teammates are speechless, their faces showing pure disbelief. They refuse to accept that the E-rank student they look down on is now in the top 50, speculating it must be someone with the same name. They are left questioning everything, unable to comprehend the situation. Meanwhile, far from the battlefield, officials and VIPs watch the exam on large screens. One spectator comments on the predictable strength of the first high school, which dominates the top 10 ranks. They single out Zhou Mingyang, ranked first with 412 points, who seems to have secured the title of Jiangcheng's top student. Another official wonders if he can become a provincial top 100 student, a feat no one from their city has achieved in years. Among the officials is Zhang Wenshan, the director of the Jiangcheng Education Bureau. With a self-satisfied smile, he agrees that Zhou Mingyang is their city's ace and expresses confidence that he will break into the provincial top 100. He then turns to the principals of the first and third high schools, praising their institutions. The principals humbly thank the director. While praising the top schools, Director Zhang Wenshan turns to the principal of the second high school, Zhao Yao. He condescendingly tells him that his school needs to work harder, noting their best student is only ranked 18th. The principal sweats nervously, bowing and stammering his agreement. Principal Zhao Yao is inwardly fuming. He knows that among the top 50 students, only 8 are from his school. He mentally lists his top students, including Xu Jingming, urging them to get their act together. A moment later, he pauses. The name Xu Jingming doesn't sound familiar. He wonders aloud who this student is and why he's never seen the name before. He turns to the teacher beside him, who is Chen Fan, and asks about Xu Jingming. Upon hearing that his supposedly weakest student is in the top 50, teacher Chen Fan has a jaw-dropping reaction of pure shock. He takes a moment to compose himself, wiping sweat from his brow. He recalls that Xu Jingming is an E-rank awakened and wonders if the boy had been hiding his true strength, but he dismisses the thought as impossible. He looks up at the monitors in frustration, realizing that since only the top 10 students have dedicated camera feeds, there is no way for him to see how Xu Jingming is accumulating so many points. Meanwhile, back in the exam venue, Xu Jingming has pushed through the outer area and arrived at the central area, a zone with a much higher danger level. He walks calmly through the streets, crushing a bottle underfoot. Taking a moment to eat an energy bar, he observes that the number of fierce beasts has decreased. He knows this is because ranked beasts have developed intelligence and a sense of territory, making them more difficult opponents. Suddenly, his sharp senses pick something up. His eyes narrow as he announces that his target has arrived. An instant later, a powerful striped beast bursts through a pile of wrecked cars. The creature is a first-rank fierce beast, an arm-blade tiger named for the sharp, blade-like bones on its forelimbs. Xu Jingming stands his ground, unfazed. He remarks on his good luck, pleased to have encountered a first-rank beast so soon. With a confident and eager expression, he readies his spear, declaring that this powerful opponent is the perfect test for his newly upgraded spear technique. The arm-blade tiger lets out a ferocious roar and lunges, its powerful claws ready to attack. Xu Jingming remains calm and composed, holding his spear defensively. With a graceful spin, he deflects the tiger's initial pounce, expertly parrying the beast's attack with the shaft of his spear. The force of the blow causes the tiger to recoil slightly. Xu Jingming, however, seems completely unimpressed. With a confident smirk, he mockingly asks if this is all the power a first-tier beast has, musing that it would take a Tiger King to make him use more effort. His taunt enrages the beast. Declaring that he is sending it on its way, Xu Jingming goes on the offensive. He leaps forward with incredible speed, his spear becoming a blur as he lands a clean, deep strike on the tiger's shoulder, drawing blood. The beast roars in pain and fury, but Xu Jingming gives it no time to recover, maintaining his calm, focused stance. His attack has only enraged the first-rank beast further. Its eyes begin to glow with a menacing teal light. It rises up on its hind legs, towering over Xu Jingming, and lets out a deafening roar as it prepares to unleash its full power. The arm-blade tiger brings its massive, bladed paws down in a devastating swipe. Xu Jingming, showing incredible reflexes, dodges the attack and uses the momentum to swing himself around a nearby lamppost, avoiding the deadly claws and setting himself up for a powerful counterattack. Landing gracefully after his acrobatic move, Xu Jingming acknowledges the tenacity of the first-tier beast. He can see that despite its injuries, the arm-blade tiger still wants to put up a desperate struggle. Deciding to end the fight, he declares that any further resistance is futile. He begins to channel his spear technique, lightning gale break, and a vortex of blue energy swirls around his weapon. With a powerful war cry, he unleashes the technique. His body becomes a blur as he executes a devastating spinning attack, the energy from his spear creating multiple slashing arcs of light. The attack connects, and the tiger lets out a final, agonized cry as the powerful technique tears through its body. The massive beast collapses to the ground, defeated. A notification immediately appears on Xu Jingming's smartwatch, confirming the kill of a first-tier armored tiger and awarding him 14 ability points. He notes with satisfaction that the points from a first-tier beast are almost double what he gets from an unranked one. A new perspective dawns on him. He realizes that while the exam hall is a place of danger for others, for him, it is a perfect treasure ground to level up. With renewed determination, he vows to harvest as many ability points as he can by hunting the most powerful beasts. Back in the audience stands, the atmosphere is tense as officials and teachers watch the live rankings. The leaderboard shows Xu Jingming is now tied for 32nd place with 328 points. An official turns to teacher Chen Fan, asking if this surprising student is from his class. Suddenly, Chen Fan is the center of attention. Other teachers praise him, marveling that only students from his class have broken into the top 50 from their school. They compliment his teaching methods. A flustered Chen Fan humbly deflects the praise, insisting it is all due to the student's own hard work. Their conversation is cut short when someone shouts and points at the screen. Xu Jingming's ranking has skyrocketed again, jumping to number 25. One official exclaims in disbelief that he somehow gained 44 points at once. Director Zhang Wenshan mentally calculates the point values, recalling that a peak unranked beast is worth 6 tier 8 points, while a low-grade first-tier beast is worth 14 to 16 points. Principal Zhao Yao continues the thought, his face pale with shock. He remembers that the kill count updates every 4 seconds, and an impossible realization begins to form in his mind. Director Zhang Wenshan completes the stunning calculation. Within a mere 4 seconds, Xu Jingming must have killed either 5 peak unranked beasts or 3 low-grade first-tier beasts. A pleased smile spreads across his face as he remarks that this kind of performance hasn't been seen in years. He turns to Principal Zhao Yao and comments that this student is a very good prospect, asking why he has never heard of him. The principal, still flustered, admits he has only just found out about Xu Jingming himself and says they will have to ask the boy's homeroom teacher. He immediately summons a nervous teacher Chen Fan, telling him to explain Xu Jingming's situation to the leaders, specifically asking about his talent. Standing before the city's top education officials, a sweating Chen Fan stammers out the unbelievable truth. Xu Jingming awakened an E-grade ability. Weak electricity. The principal is incredulous, asking if Chen Fan is certain he hasn't remembered incorrectly. Chen Fan insists that he is sure. He adds that he specifically advised Xu Jingming not to participate in the exam due to his low-rank ability. Director Zhang Wenshan listens with growing curiosity. He deduces that for a student with only an E-grade ability to get this far, he must have other outstanding qualities. This mystery piques his interest. He decides to wait, confidently predicting that with Xu Jingming's momentum, he should soon break into the top 10. At that point, they will get a dedicated camera feed and will finally understand how he is doing this. He adds a stern warning, however, that if the student is cheating, there will be consequences. Just as he finishes speaking, both teacher Chen Fan and Principal Zhao Yao's eyes go wide with shock. A new update appears on the leaderboard. Xu Jingming has done the impossible and broken into the top 10, now at 9th place. Just below him, at number 12, is his cousin, Tang Qi. Elsewhere in the exam hall, Tang Qi, now with cat-like ears and a tail, sits atop a defeated beast. She looks off into the distance with a knowing smile, now certain her cousin was the one who caused the destruction at the martial arts hall. The top-ranked student, Zhou Mingyang, also notices the new name on the leaderboard. He notes with some surprise that, with 6 hours still left, a new face has squeezed into the top 10. He thinks to himself that he has never heard of Xu Jingming before. Because he is in the top 10, a dedicated camera drone is sent to follow Xu Jingming. The feed shows him effortlessly killing another first-tier beast with his spear. As the beast falls, a notification awards him another 14 points. He comments to himself that the efficiency of killing beasts is much higher in the central area. He then notices the drone and realizes he must have entered the top 10. Standing over his latest kill, Xu Jingming reflects on the nature of the exam. He understands it's a test of strength and potential, where better results lead to greater recognition. With this in mind, he decides he has no reason to hide his true power, declaring that breaking into the top 10 is just the beginning. Before challenging the core area, he decides to improve his strength again. He checks his system panel, which shows his spear technique is now at the advanced level, and he has 312 ability points. He notes with some disappointment that his level hasn't automatically promoted from awakened. He deduces that the only way to advance to a true ability user is by learning a specific cultivation method, which he cannot do during the exam. Since he can't increase his rank, he decides to continue improving his basic attributes. He spends some points, boosting his physique by 40 and his spirit by 22. Feeling a surge of new power, he clenches his fist, ready to finally head to the core area. He soon arrives at the entrance to the core area, where the danger level is highest. He is greeted by a brutal scene, a pack of 9 armored tigers devouring the corpse of a large, rhino-like beast. From a safe distance, Xu Jingming observes the pack. He quickly identifies the one in the middle, which is larger and has a more powerful aura, as the armored Tiger King. Far from being intimidated, he sees this as a great harvest of points waiting for him. Just as he prepares to move, he senses another presence. He calls out, telling the hidden person to come out. From behind a corner, Zhou Mingyang emerges, looking impressed. He compliments Xu Jingming on his sharp perception and admits he didn't expect the mysterious student who broke into the top 10 to be him. Xu Jingming recognizes the top-ranked student and asks how Zhou Mingyang knew who he was. Zhou Mingyang explains that he is familiar with every strong candidate who could enter the core area. Since Xu Jingming was an unknown who rose through the ranks, he naturally deduced his identity. Zhou Mingyang then reveals he has been watching the tiger pack and prepares to draw his sword. Xu Jingming immediately becomes wary, asking if he intends to steal his monster. Zhou Mingyang clarifies that he has no intention of stealing the kill. He explains that the armored Tiger King is a powerful mid-grade first-tier beast, and with its pack of 9 other tigers, it's an opponent no single person can handle alone. He proposes they cooperate to take down the pack. However, Xu Jingming flatly rejects the offer with 2 simple words: no need. With a look of absolute confidence, he declares that he is more than enough by himself. Dismissing Zhou Mingyang's offer, Xu Jingming confidently steps out into the open to confront the pack of armored tigers. His sudden appearance immediately draws their attention. They let out warning growls, and the Tiger King, perched on its kill, roars to assert its dominance. Xu Jingming's eyes narrow as he observes his opponents. He notes that, as expected of a group led by a beast king, the tigers have enough intelligence for a simple battle formation, with the stronger ones in front. The pack growls menacingly, preparing to attack as one. One of the tigers breaks from the pack and charges, roaring as it lunges at him. From his hiding spot, Zhou Mingyang watches with a mix of disbelief and intrigue. He decides to observe the encounter, curious to see if Xu Jingming is just marching to his death or if he has some special skill to back up his incredible confidence. Facing the charging beast, Xu Jingming remains perfectly still, a calm aura around him as he prepares his spear. In a blur of motion, he begins to spin the weapon with blinding speed, the shaft becoming a near-invisible circle as he gathers energy for his attack. He unleashes a devastatingly wide spinning sweep, sending a massive arc of force tearing through the air towards the attacking beasts. The attack connects with overwhelming power. In a single, brutal motion, his spinning spear cuts through several of the tigers at once, sending a spray of blood across the street. System notifications instantly pop up, confirming his kills and awarding ability points. The lifeless bodies of the tigers collapse onto the blood-soaked pavement, the initial wave of the pack annihilated by his single, powerful strike. The armored Tiger King is enraged by the slaughter of its pack. Xu Jingming, however, looks at the carnage with a hint of dissatisfaction. He remarks that it's a pity his physical strength is still lacking, as he was unable to kill all the tigers in one blow. The remaining tigers, led by their enraged king, surround him, ready to avenge their fallen pack members. The Tiger King unleashes a deafening roar, a powerful sonic attack meant to disorient its opponent. The force of the roar is so immense that it shatters the windows of nearby buildings, creating a rain of glass. Even Zhou Mingyang, watching from a safe distance, is affected by the sonic blast, clutching his head in pain. Xu Jingming, however, stands firm amidst the shattering glass, completely unfazed. He recognizes the Tiger King's attempt to intimidate him. With a defiant look, he declares that while the beast might scare others, it can't scare him. As the remaining tigers lunge at him from all sides, Xu Jingming meets their charge with fluid grace and deadly precision. He parries one tiger's attack, then uses the beast's own body as a springboard to launch himself into the air, avoiding the snapping jaws of another. The Tiger King, seeing an opening, charges forward, but Xu Jingming is ready. Still airborne, he positions himself for a decisive strike. With a powerful overhead swing, he brings his spear down directly onto the Tiger King's head, the immense force cleaving through the beast's skull and killing it instantly. He lands gracefully as a system notification confirms the kill of an upper-rank first-order arm-blade tiger, awarding him a massive 20 ability points. Watching from his hiding spot, Zhou Mingyang is utterly dumbfounded. Sweating and wide-eyed, he can't believe what he just witnessed. He mutters to himself that there's no way one person could have taken care of the entire pack, wondering what kind of monster Xu Jingming truly is. Xu Jingming, on the other hand, is ecstatic. He marvels at the huge harvest of ability points he earned from the Tiger Pack. He excitedly wonders how many points he can accumulate before the 12-hour exam is over. Knowing that more points mean more power, he decides to hurry and find the next group of beasts to hunt. Before he can leave, Zhou Mingyang runs out from his hiding spot, demanding to know how Xu Jingming managed to crush the tigers with just a long spear. He asks if his ability is a reinforcement type, which would explain his incredible physical prowess. Without stopping, Xu Jingming simply leaps away, calling back that he is a lightning type. Zhou Mingyang is left fuming, not believing the answer. He clenches his fist in frustration, thinking Xu Jingming is being dismissive. A moment later, he realizes that with so many new kills, Xu Jingming's score is likely to catch up to his. He quickly checks the leaderboard on his smartwatch. To his absolute horror, he sees that Xu Jingming has not just caught up, but completely surpassed him. The leaderboard now shows Xu Jingming in first place with 1,122 points, while he has been pushed down to second with 985. The realization leaves him screaming in frustration. Back in the audience stands, the officials are erupting with excitement. Director Zhang Wenshan stands up and declares that Xu Jingming's high-level spearmanship confirms he is a genuine genius. He claps a beaming Principal Zhao Yao on the shoulder, announcing that with Xu Jingming representing them, Zhang Cheng can definitely get into the provincial top 100. He promises a commendation for the second high school after the exam, much to the principal's tearful delight. Principal Zhao Yao is overcome with emotion, thinking what a huge surprise Xu Jingming has been, finally giving his school its day to shine. 3 hours later, in the core zone, Zhou Mingyang walks through the streets, looking utterly confused. He wonders aloud where all the fierce beasts have gone. A voice from behind him suggests that he'll have to ask the #1 ranked student. He turns to see his cousin Tang Qi, along with other top-ranked students Wu Hao and Meng Di. Tang Qi points to the empty streets, explaining that Xu Jingming has already killed all the beasts. She says that because they couldn't find any beasts to fight, they had to team up. Zhou Mingyang is left stunned, finding it impossible to believe one person could have cleared out the entire core zone. Tang Qi tells Zhou Mingyang that she can tell he hasn't been a ranked ability user for very long. To prove her point, she tells him to look at her cousin's current score. She activates her smartwatch, and the leaderboard appears. Zhou Mingyang's eyes go wide in disbelief as he sees the astronomical number next to Xu Jingming's name. 35 points, more than triple his own score. He can only stammer in shock. Tang Qi calmly explains the math. Subtracting the roughly 700 points Xu Jingming got in the central zone, he still earned over 2,500 points, meaning he must have single-handedly killed almost 200 fierce beasts in the core zone alone. A bead of sweat rolls down Zhou Mingyang's face as he realizes the truth. It wasn't that Xu Jingming was afraid of someone stealing his kills. He had planned to monopolize the entire core zone from the beginning. Wu Hao explains their current situation. With only a few hours left, the remaining top students have formed a team. Their plan is to brave the innermost core zone, a place they know is filled with upper-rank beasts and even a second-order beast king. He acknowledges that going in alone would be a death wish. Meng Di then formally invites Zhou Mingyang to join their team. With no other option, he agrees, shouting, "Count me in." The scene shifts to a quiet, moonlit rooftop. Xu Jingming sits alone atop a massive pile of slain beast corpses, his spear planted beside him. His supplies are completely exhausted, and he knows the exam is nearing its end. But his hunt for power is not over. He decides he must go deeper to get more ability points. Knowing the innermost core zone holds second-order fierce beasts, he resolves to strengthen his power one last time. He pulls up his system panel, revealing he has accumulated a staggering 2413 ability points. With a mischievous grin, he decides to put his points into an upgrade. After channeling the new power, he stands over the corpse of a massive bear-like creature, letting out a breath of relief. He feels confident that with this final boost, he should be able to handle this year's combat exam finale. As the other top students sprint towards the final area, their final sprint begins. Deep within the innermost zone, a terrifying new beast emerges from the ruins. A massive, white-furred, wolf-like creature with glowing red eyes and dangerous red crystals on its back. As the final challenge appears, Xu Jingming arrives on the scene, calm and ready. He holds his spear, a confident look on his face as he wonders what kind of second-order fierce beast the exam has arranged for him this year. Just as Xu Jingming arrives for the final challenge, the team of top-ranked students also reaches the innermost core zone. They immediately identify the massive, crystal-backed creature as a bloodthirsty savage bear. The beast shows its incredible power by smashing a wrecked car with a single swipe of its paw. The sight fills the team with dread. Zhou Mingyang exclaims that they are in big trouble. Mengdi explains that this rare beast has a hide as tough as E-grade alloy, which even missiles can't pierce. She adds with terror that a single strike from its paw could kill them all instantly. Seeing the overwhelming odds, Tang Qi suggests they abandon the mission. Their situation is even more dire than they thought. They realize the compound is guarded not just by the Beast King, but also by a large pack of high-rank first-level beasts. One of them grimly states that if they enter, they will likely be wiped out by the horde before the savage bear even moves. Faced with the impossible challenge, a team member immediately quits, saying there's no point in getting a high score if you die. Zhou Mingyang tries to stop him, angrily questioning the point of being handsome if he's just going to rush into a horde of beasts to die. The team's morale has completely shattered. Suddenly, Mengdi points towards the compound, shouting for the others to look. They see a lone figure entering the deadly area. Tang Qi's eyes widen as she recognizes him. It's Xu Jingming, fearlessly walking into the heart of the beast horde. As he gracefully leaps into the compound, the others watch in disbelief. Zhou Mingyang complains about the difficult test, while another student panics, crying out that Xu Jingming's entrance has startled the entire horde, which now turns its attention to him. Enraged by the intrusion, the entire horde of fierce beasts charges at him. Xu Jingming stands his ground in the center of the street, and in an instant, he is completely engulfed by the snarling creatures. Watching from the rooftop, the other students are horrified. Tang Qi worries for her cousin, but Wu Hao remarks that he was too reckless. Tang Qi declares she has to go help him. Meng Di grabs her arm, trying to stop her, and Wu Hao calls her crazy, saying it's a pointless death. Tang Qi desperately insists that Jingming is her cousin, and she can't just watch him die. Before she can act, a massive explosion of purple and blue lightning erupts from the center of the beast horde. The raw power creates a blinding flash, forcing the students on the roof to shield their eyes. Zhou Mingyang stares, wondering aloud if this is the lightning superpower Xu Jingming mentioned earlier. The lightning dissipates, revealing a scene of utter carnage. The entire horde of first-level beasts has been wiped out, their charred bodies scattered around a lone, unharmed figure. Xu Jingming stands in the devastation, purple lightning crackling around him. He acknowledges that his physical strength alone wasn't enough, so he had to use his superpower. A confident smile plays on his lips as he feels the immense power of his S-grade ability. Having cleared the lesser threats, he turns his attention to the final challenge, the bloodthirsty savage bear, standing over the corpses of its minions. The massive beast lets out a deafening roar. Xu Jingming remains calm, analyzing his opponent. He notes the savage bear is massive and likely not agile, concluding that with his powerful thunder ability, it should be manageable. He then notices the beast is not alone. It has several smaller but still dangerous minions. Realizing these creatures might be an annoyance, he decides there's only one thing to do. With a look of fierce determination, his eyes glowing, he declares that he will clear the area first. He bursts into motion, his body enhanced by his S-grade lightning ability, moving with blinding speed as he blitzes through the remaining beasts. He effortlessly dispatches a high-rank Shadow Cat, his smartwatch confirming the kill and awarding him 13 points. With a confident grin, he marvels at the enhancement his superpower provides to his physique, but acknowledges he can't maintain the dangerous state for long. Knowing it's enough to clear the minions, he cuts down the last of the lesser beasts with a powerful sweep of his spear, earning another 15 points for a high-rank unicorn rhino. With the area cleared, the final confrontation begins. the savage bear roars in fury, slamming its massive paws into the ground and creating a shockwave that shatters the pavement. The beast charges, shaking the ground. Xu Jingming, wreathed in his lightning aura, meets the charge head-on. With a powerful leap, he dodges the charge and swings his spear in a devastating arc, shattering one of the large red crystals on the beast's back. The battle continues in a blur, with Xu Jingming expertly dodging the bear's attacks and landing precise strikes, shattering more crystals and wounding the beast. His smartwatch continuously updates with points as he dismantles the Beast King's defenses. The savage bear roars, enraged as it watches its minions fall. Xu Jingming, wreathed in lightning, taunts the beast, asking if it's getting angry. He promises to deal with it after taking care of the last minion. As he charges the final rhino, the Bear King watches with cunning intelligence. Just as Xu Jingming is about to strike, the Bear King moves with unexpected speed, smashing its own minion to bits to intercept him. Xu Jingming is surprised, realizing the beast anticipated his move. The Bear King claps its paws together, sacrificing its last minion to create a devastating shockwave that obliterates the ground and nearby cars. The final rhino is torn apart in the explosion. However, the attack fails to harm its target. Xu Jingming, surrounded by his lightning aura, gracefully flips through the air, landing safely and untouched by the explosion. With the battlefield cleared of lesser threats, only the two kings remain. Xu Jingming grins fiercely, his body crackling with power. He declares that with no minions left, it's time to see if the beast's armor-like hide can withstand the force of his thunder. With a powerful thrust, Xu Jingming plunges his lightning-covered spear into the bloodthirsty savage bear's head. The impact creates a huge explosion of purple energy that covers the drone following him, cutting its camera feed. The students on the rooftop are hit by the shockwave, shielding their faces from the blast. In the audience stands, the officials stare in stunned silence at the static-filled screen. Director Jiang Wenshan, shocked, turns to Principal Zhao Yao. He yells, asking if he calls the power they just saw an E-class ability and accusing him of kidding. Another official, also amazed, remarks that Xu Jingming could instantly kill a high-tier rank 1 beast and fight a rank 2 boss, a feat even an A-class user would struggle with. Principal Zhao Yao, sweating and at a loss, can only guess it might be a rare ability mutation. Regardless, Director Jiang Wenshan laughs and says that after today, the great Xia nation will be shaken by Xu Jingming's name. Back on the battlefield, the result of Xu Jingming's attack is clear. The bloodthirsty savage bear is wounded with a deep gash on its head, but it is not defeated. The beast roars and swats Xu Jingming with its paw, sending him flying. He is shocked his powerful attack only left a shallow wound. He lands hard on the ground, using his skills to recover. He quickly analyzes the situation. He realizes the savage bear's hide is resistant to blades and doesn't conduct electricity. He admits to himself that with his current strength, it will be hard to kill the beast in one shot. The enraged savage bear begins to gather dark energy around its body. Xu Jingming, sensing the immense power, can only look on in shock, saying, "What?" Dark energy gathers around the bloodthirsty savage bear as it powers up, rolling forward like a monstrous boulder. It smashes through everything, the ground seeming to buckle under its power. Xu Jingming leaps back onto debris as purple lightning crackles around him, readying himself. He is surprised the beast activated its berserk skill so quickly, recognizing the beast truly hates him. A note explains, berserk is a beast's counter skill, like a human combat technique. The enraged beast, now covered in dark energy, hunches over. It lets out a deafening roar, then charges with greater speed and ferocity. Xu Jingming is impressed, remarking on the astonishing strength of a beast in its berserk state. He knows, however, that the berserk state has a cost. The beast loses its intelligence, acting purely on instinct. He quickly forms a new strategy. He must avoid its attacks and use his superior agility to keep it at a distance. He puts his plan into action, dodging the beast's relentless attacks with incredible speed. He knows he must wait for the perfect chance to temporarily stop it. As the beast lunges, he channels lightning into his spear and thrusts it forward, unleashing a blast of energy that strikes the beast's side. The attack freezes the massive creature for a crucial second, its body shaking from the electric shock. This is the opening he needed. With the beast stunned, Xu Jingming's eyes glow as he prepares his ultimate attack. He raises his hand, gathering a massive amount of purple and blue energy. He calls on the full power of his S-rank ability, shouting, "Nine Heavens Divine Lightning, blast it!" A huge torrent of divine lightning comes down from the sky, slamming into the bloodthirsty savage bear. The beast is engulfed in the blast, its roars drowned out by the crackling energy. When the light fades, the massive beast lies motionless, smoke rising from its charred body. Xu Jingming stands over it, a confident smile on his face as purple lightning dances around his fingertips. He remarks that after half a minute of his purple divine lightning, even the thickest defense couldn't withstand it. However, the battle isn't over. The beast's eye snaps open, glowing with a furious red light. With a final, desperate roar, it lunges, its massive jaws open for a final bite. The electrical power surging through its body causes a temporary paralysis, freezing it just inches from its target. Seeing his chance, Xu Jingming calmly states, "It's time." He gathers all his remaining power into his spear, his eyes glowing. He channels his ultimate technique, saying the words, lightning, gale, break. He unleashes the attack, a massive sphere of lightning that slams into the paralyzed beast's open mouth. The explosion is immense, a vortex of power that tears through the beast from the inside, creating a huge crater in the street. The force of the blast finally brings the mighty second-order beast down for good. Its massive body collapses onto the pavement, defeated. A system notification confirms the kill and awards him plus 124 ability points. Kneeling beside the Beast King, Xu Jingming breathes a sigh of relief, stating the final battle is over. He reflects that to deal with the second-order beast, he upgraded his lightning gale technique, and he is pleased with its power. A triumphant smile spreads across his face. He notes that although the battle only lasted 2 minutes, it was the most exhilarating he has ever experienced. He then wonders how many points he will get after clearing out all the beasts in the core area. The exam ends as night falls. Back in the audience stands, the final results are displayed on the main screen, and the crowd roars. In first place is Xu Jingming, with an unbelievable score of 10,835 points. In a distant second is Zhou Mingyang, with 1,103 points, followed by Wu Hao, with 945. The officials are ecstatic. Director Zhang Wenshan, Principal Zhao Yao, and teacher Chen Fan leap to their feet, cheering. They celebrate that Xu Jingming not only broke their city's record, but the entire Jiangnan province record. They call him a genius. They recall last year's provincial champion only scored just over 8,000 points. With his score, they declare Xu Jingming has practically pre-booked this year's champion title. Standing amidst the destruction, Xu Jingming looks at the sky and notes there isn't much time left. He reflects on his accomplishments with a confident smirk. He has killed all the fierce beasts in the inner circle and core area. With time left, he decides to head back to the central area to kill as many remaining beasts as he can. As he walks back, he passes the rooftop where the other top students are gathered. They stare in disbelief. Tang Qi is amazed her cousin killed a Tier 2 Beast King, while Zhou Mingyang is bewildered, wondering why Xu Jingming is going back when he is already in first place. Mingdi correctly guesses he is heading back to the central area. The horrifying realization dawns on her, and she wonders aloud if he is going back to clear out all the remaining beasts. The other students are speechless at his ambition. The reality hits them. Zhou Mingyang realizes that with Xu Jingming's speed, he might actually do it. If they don't leave soon, they might not get a single point in the last hour. He declares their team-up is over and leaves first. The others quickly follow, scrambling to hunt for any remaining beasts. 1 hour later, an official announcement echoes across the exam venue. The 2037 Zhangcheng Martial Arts College entrance examination has concluded. Killing beasts no longer counts, and all candidates are told to return. Throughout the venue, the remaining students react. A tired Tang Qi wipes sweat from her brow, sighing that it's finally over. Elsewhere, one student despairs over being one beast away from passing, while another celebrates just barely making it. In the midst of the carnage, Xu Jingming stands over his final kill, looking unsatisfied. He wonders why the exam had to end so quickly, feeling he wasn't quite finished. As students exit the exam venue, they are greeted by guards, their faces a mix of exhaustion and relief. Outside, Tang Qi's friend Xiaoya is still reeling from Xu Jingming's power. She clings to Tang Qi, asking for the third time if Xu Jingming is really her cousin. Tang Qi, looking weary, confirms he is. Xiaoya's crush has returned. With a blush, she begs Tang Qi for his contact information. Tang Qi reminds her that just yesterday she wasn't interested. Xiaoya quickly says things are different now that he is first in the exam and continues to beg. Their conversation is interrupted by a commotion. Someone shouts that Xu Jingming is coming out. A massive crowd of students swarms the exit, desperate to see the new champion. Xu Jingming emerges from the gate, his expression calm and his spear on his shoulder. He is met with cheers and congratulations. Some jokingly ask him to give them 100 of his points. He smiles and waves, taking in the sudden fame as he walks towards the buses. In the crowd, Wu Hao and Zhou Mingyang look on. Wu Hao remarks that Zhou Mingyang should have been the one in that position, but Zhou Mingyang humbly replies he is content with his score, admitting he never knew the second high school could produce such a monster. Before Xu Jingming can get on the bus, he is stopped by Principal Zhao Yao, who congratulates him and introduces him to Director Zhang Wenshan. The director informs Xu Jingming that he wants to give him a ride himself. Xu Jingming looks at the chaotic crowd and realizes it's for the best, knowing the bus ride would be full of questions. He gets into a sleek black car with the officials, which speeds away. Inside the car, Director Zhang asks Xu Jingming which superpower university he wants to attend. Xu Jingming admits he has been so focused on his strength that he hasn't thought about it. The director assures him that with his results, any university would be within his reach. However, he advises that half of the country's high-level superpower users graduate from the top 3 universities and recommends he consider them. Director Zhang Wenshan details the top 3. First is Qingjing Superpower University, affiliated with the government. Graduates can directly enter the system and serve the country. Next is Modu Superpower University, known for its excellent resources and elite clubs. Finally, there is Jincheng Superpower University, which has a long history and strong faculty. All 3 have top-tier cultivation methods that are not public. Xu Jingming listens intently. He understands awakened individuals need these special methods to become true superpower users. He asks what makes a top-tier cultivation method special. The director explains that with a beginner method, it would take 3 to 4 years to advance. With a top-tier method, it only takes half a year. He reassures Xu Jingming that with his results, he will qualify for special admission from even the top 3 universities. Having dropped off the officials, Xu Jingming arrives back at his apartment late at night. The next day, he is in the shower, feeling refreshed. He checks his system panel and sees he has 2,534 ability points remaining, which he believes is enough for a superpower university. As he dries off, he wonders if there will be beast-killing competitions after he enrolls, deciding he will have to enter the wilderness to continue growing stronger. Meanwhile, his cousin Tang Qi arrives at his apartment with her mother, Xu Qingwan. Tang Qi notices the door is broken and decides it's a perfect chance to sneak in and surprise him. They enter, and Tang Qi cheerfully shouts a surprise greeting. Her timing is terrible. Xu Jingming, wearing only a towel, has just stepped out of the bathroom. He is shocked to see his aunt and cousin. His aunt, equally flustered, asks what he is doing, while Tang Qi is left blushing and speechless. His aunt then sees the ruined apartment and angrily asks how it got into such a mess. A flashback explains that after his parents passed away, his aunt stayed with him, taking good care of him and giving him the warmth of a home. She fulfilled her guardian duties, even occasionally feeding him his favorite meal. After the initial shock, Xu Jingming sits with his aunt and cousin. His aunt, Xu Qingwan, expresses her relief. She admits she was incredibly worried when she learned he was taking the martial arts exam. Now that she sees he is unharmed, she is relieved. She reassures him his score isn't important. Xu Jingming is confused and asks if Tang Qi didn't tell her the results. Tang Qi winks, saying it's better if he tells his mother himself. With a bashful smile, Xu Jingming tells his aunt he did quite well, scoring over 10,000 points. The news is so shocking his aunt spits out her drink. She coughs, asking him to repeat his score. Tang Qi confirms it's true, telling her mother he scored 11,124 points. His aunt is speechless. A moment later, she bursts into tears of joy and pulls him into a tight hug, exclaiming that the Xu family finally has a successor and his parents in heaven must be so proud. Meanwhile, in a high-tech conference room, university recruiters are reviewing the exam results. A woman presents the data on Xu Jingming, noting his age, his supposed E-class ability, and his rank as an unranked awakener. One recruiter insists they must recruit this student if the score is real. Another is skeptical, arguing that based on his rank, he couldn't have achieved such a high score. The debate continues, with some arguing his ability is at least A-class, or even S-class. Another recruiter scoffs, suggesting he must have cheated. Before the argument can escalate, a senior figure tells them to stop. A woman with a commanding presence makes a decision. She instructs the team to list Xu Jingming as an S-class special recruit for now. As for whether the score is genuine, she declares she will personally go to Jiangcheng to investigate. The day after the exam, Xu Jingming gets a notification on his phone that the Jiangnan Province martial arts exam rankings are out. He is informed that he placed first in the province with an astonishing score of 11,124 points. A look of surprised delight spreads across his face as he sits down, celebrating his achievement as the top scholar of Jiangnan Province. News of his success quickly spreads online, taking over the hot search topics. The public debates how a dark horse from Jiangcheng could become the provincial top scholar, questioning who Xu Jingming is and if an E-class individual could truly achieve such a score. Skeptics reject the possibility, while others demand to see the exam video for proof. In response to the doubts, an awards ceremony is held where Principal Zhao Yao addresses the media. A female reporter directly asks him to explain the authenticity of Xu Jingming's results. Principal Zhao Yao confidently states that the school's website has uploaded Xu Jingming's exam video, confirming the fairness of the exam. As people watch the video, they are amazed, exclaiming that Xu Jingming pierced a Tier 1 rhinoceros skull with a single shot, showing power stronger than a Tier 1 superhuman. They question how this is possible for someone with an E-class lightning ability. Principal Zhao Yao, beaming, assures everyone the video proves the results are real and praises Xu Jingming as the first student from Jiangcheng to achieve top scholar status. Director Zhao Yao then presents a massive check for 1 million yuan to Xu Jingming, congratulating him. He announces this cash reward, along with superpower training methods, is a gift from the City Education Bureau. Additionally, the city government will provide an equivalent bonus and a luxury villa. Reporters eagerly capture the moment. Meanwhile, a commanding woman with 2 bodyguards stands by a car and remarks that while Jiangcheng released the footage, it doesn't guarantee Xu Jingming didn't use performance-enhancing drugs. She states that the most crucial step is to confirm his superpower level. Back at the ceremony, Director Zhao Yao asks teacher Chen Fan why Xu Jingming, the day's protagonist, has not yet arrived. Teacher Chen Fan smiles, explaining that he just spoke with Xu Jingming, who said he is still training at the martial arts gym. The director laughs, finding it extraordinary that the new top scholar is still training after the exam. With Xu Jingming on his way, the scene shifts to a meeting room where Principal Zhao Yao is nervously serving tea to 3 intimidating figures, whom he addresses as teachers. When one of them casually dismisses the tea, Principal Zhao Yao sweats, thinking about the powerful aura coming from these high-level superhumans, which makes his heart tremble. The 3 individuals are recruiters from the nation's top superpower universities, and the air is tense as their immense spiritual pressures seem ready to clash. The woman with short, grayish-purple hair, Zhang Zhaoyue, the director of admissions for Modu Superpower University, breaks the silence. She coyly asks her rivals who they are targeting. A woman in a light blue dress, Su Yun from Qingjing Superpower University, tells Zhang Zhaoyue not to play dumb. She confidently declares that as long as his results are genuine, Qingjing University will have him. A man with long black hair, Wu Yuan from Jin City Superpower University, scoffs at her claim, stating that Jin City University will recruit him. As sparks of energy crackle between them, Zhang Zhaoyue thinks to herself that recruiting top scholars always involves clashing with other academies. Just as the tension peaks, the door slides open and Xu Jingming enters with his spear over his shoulder. He calmly greets the 3 powerful figures as teachers. His sudden arrival surprises the recruiters. Zhang Zhaoyue observes him with interest, noting his spirit is full and he's still carrying his weapon, a sign he hasn't relaxed his training. More importantly, she is impressed that he did not falter under the combined pressure of 3 high-level superhumans. Principal Zhao Yao formally introduces the recruiters to Xu Jingming, Director Zhang Zhaoyue from Modu University, Director Su Yun from Qingjing University, and Minister Wu Yuan from Jin City University. Director Zhang Zhaoyue speaks first, complimenting him on his stunning combat techniques in the exam video. However, she gets straight to the point, asking why his superpower no longer seems to be the E-class weak electricity, and requests an explanation. Expecting this question, Xu Jingming gives a prepared answer. He calmly explains that before the exam, while training at home, he was struck by natural lightning, and his superpower became much stronger. Wu Yuan and Su Yun immediately conclude that it sounds like a superpower mutation. Zhang Zhaoyu then suggests that Xu Jingming probably doesn't know the true level of his mutated superpower. She has brought a superpower detection instrument with her and invites him to try it. She presents a glowing, circular device and tells him to use his superpower on it. Xu Jingming places his hand on the instrument and unleashes his power. A massive, violent surge of purple and white lightning erupts from him, covering the device. Su Yun is visibly shocked by the sheer force of the lightning. The detection device completes its scan, identifying the superpower as Purple Cloud Divine Thunder. but as it tries to assign a rating, it beeps erratically and cracks appear. In a flash of golden light, the instrument overloads and explodes into pieces. The blast sends arcs of electricity across the room, startling everyone. A shocked Principal Zhao Yao asks what is going on. Wu Yuan and Su Yun, however, look thrilled. They state the situation is confirmed. His power overloaded the small device, which means his ability level must be S-class at the very least. With Xu Jingming's S-class potential confirmed, director Zhang Zhaoyue smiles, thinking they bet on the right person this time. The confirmation immediately sparks a fierce bidding war. Wu Yuan from Jin City University is the first to make an offer, shouting that his university will give Xu Jingming a 4 million admission bonus, a full set of C-class equipment, and free access to all superpower training methods for all 4 years. Su Yun from Qingjing University scoffs at his offer. She turns to Xu Jingming with a charming smile and presents her own proposal. A 5 million admission bonus, and for 4 years, free access to all of their S-class superpower training methods and combat techniques. Xu Jingming is taken aback by her generous offer. Finally, Zhang Zhaoyue from Modu Superpower University makes her move. She states that Modu doesn't offer cash bonuses or equipment, but can match the other offers on cultivation methods. Then, she reveals her trump card, adding that they will also provide an S-class cultivation resource annually. The mention of an S-class resource leaves both Wu Yuan and Su Yun in complete shock. Unfamiliar with the term, Xu Jingming asks what an S-class cultivation resource is. Zhang Zhaoyue explains, asking if he has heard of dragon-type fierce beasts. She says they are creatures with innate power, born at a high level of tier 4 or 5, far surpassing other beasts. She then reveals the stunning details. The S-class resources include the heartblood of an 8th-tier adult dragon-type fierce beast. After consuming this dragon blood, one's body would be greatly enhanced, and their physical strength would become comparable to that of a dragon-type beast. She emphasizes that every S-class resource is on the same level as this. The other recruiters are left speechless. Su Yun admits that even she is tempted, remarking on Modu's wealth. Wu Yuan, flustered, points out that S-class resources are usually reserved for top students, and offering them to a freshman is unheard of. They both realize they can no longer compete. With all offers on the table, the 3 recruiters stand before Xu Jingming, telling him it is time to make his decision. With a confident, determined smile, Xu Jingming gives his answer without hesitation, declaring that he chooses Modu Superpower University. With his choice made, Xu Jingming explains he chose Modu Superpower University not just for their great offer, but because its combat training is the best in the University Alliance, with many founders coming from Modu. He then bows to Su Yun and Wu Yuan, thanking them for their offer. They both look disappointed. Pleased with his decision, director Zhang Zhaoyue creates a glowing admission letter and gives it to Xu Jingming, welcoming him. She tells him that while new students enroll on September 1st as a special recruit, he can register early and will be given a place to stay. Eager to start, Xu Jingming asks if he can access the library's superpower training methods and combat techniques ahead of time. Zhang Zhaoyu agrees without hesitation, adding that the school can provide him with a private study room. She hands him her contact card, telling him to get in touch when he arrives in Magic City. Holding his admission letter, Xu Jingming looks at the smiling director and says he can't wait to go and register. Sometime later, Xu Jingming stands at a train station with his luggage, looking excited as an announcement calls for passengers of the G91 train to Magic City to begin boarding. At the station, his aunt Xu Qingwan is emotional, wiping away tears as her husband Tang Daolin comforts her. He proudly says that their child has grown up and that when Xiaoming leaves, he is going to soar. As Tang Xi looks on, her father reminds her it is time to start filling out her university choices. He suggests that since her cousin is going to Magic City Superpower University, she should also try to choose a university there. Xu Qingwan agrees, adding it would be good for them to look out for each other. A flustered Tang Qi quietly agrees. On the train, with 6 hours left, Xu Jingming is already studying. He thinks to himself that the most important reward from the exam is the Universal C training method. Like superpowers, training methods also have different ratings: beginner, intermediate, advanced, and top tier. A graph shows that the higher the level of the method, the faster the training speed and the greater the power gained. While on the train, Xu Jingming focuses on studying the Universal C training method. He identifies it as an intermediate level technique and notes that with his spiritual power of 180, it took him half a day to memorize it. He recalls that by following the method, he was able to sense the special energy in the world on his first day of practice. This unlocked a new option on his system panel, showing a plus sign next to his level, meaning he could now advance from an awakened to a superpower user. However, he decides not to level up yet. He remembers the training manual said the higher the level of the training method used for the breakthrough, the greater the benefits. Knowing he will soon have access to top-tier methods at the university, he resolves not to waste this chance by using an intermediate one. Upon arriving in Magic City, Xu Jingming is in awe of the university campus. From the car, he sees the school grounds are several hundred meters wide. He is greeted by Director Zhang Zhaoyue, who pulls up in a red sports car and welcomes him, telling him to get in so she can take him to handle admission procedures. As they drive through the stunning campus, lined with cherry blossom trees, Director Zhang Zhaoyue boasts about its size, explaining it covers 40,000 mu. She adds that even visiting students can't tour the entire campus in one day. Xu Jingming is impressed, remarking that seeing it is better than hearing about it. After a quick registration, Director Zhang Zhaoyue hands him his new student ID, an all-in-one card he can use to access the dorms. As they approach his new accommodation, Xu Jingming thinks about his past life, where he saw dorms from 4-person rooms to 3-bedroom apartments. However, nothing prepared him for what he sees next. He stares in shock at his new dormitory, a magnificent, luxurious villa. Director Zhang Zhaoyue explains that every student at Modu lives in a villa, with the luxury determined by their scores. As the provincial top scorer, Xu Jingming gets the most luxurious model, with an area of over 800 square meters. She informs him the villa is for 2 people, with an upper and lower floor, so he and his future roommate will each have an entire floor. Xu Jingming thinks that having a roommate isn't bad and is better than being alone. He reflects on his life as an orphan and admits he still prefers the warm feeling of a communal 4-person dorm as he follows the director up the steps. Inside the villa, Director Zhang Zhaoyue sits down with Xu Jingming and informs him that she will now explain a few important things about the university. She highlights 2 main points, the credit system and the mentor system. She begins by explaining that at Modu, credits are everything. They are used for all transactions, from buying meals to powerful equipment. She clarifies that 1 credit is roughly equivalent to 10,000 Daxia currency. Director Zhang Zhaoyue explains there are many ways to get credits, one of which is a fixed amount given each year based on a student's rating. As an S-class student, Xu Jingming gets 100 credits for the year. To show him, she summons a small, spherical robot, calling out, Eva. The device floats and projects a message, confirming Xu Jingming's credit balance is 100. The director introduces the robot as Eva, the AI equipped in every dorm. She explains Eva's main body is the school's central AI, and the dorm units are subunits. However, she notes that even a subunit is a level 4 AI, capable of assisting with daily life. Xu Jingming is stunned, realizing the AI technology on Blue Star is far more advanced than in his previous life. With the first point covered, Director Zhang Zhaoyue moves on to the mentor system. She explains every student can choose a mentor they admire and ask for guidance, though the mentor must agree. Xu Jingming is intrigued, questioning if he can get one-on-one guidance as a freshman. She confirms this, adding that all mentors at the university are high-level superpowered individuals. Most have their own original combat techniques and training methods, which they do not pass on to outsiders. These secret techniques can only be learned after becoming their official disciple. Given Xu Jingming's abilities, she informs him the university has 4 mentors who specialize in the lightning element. Her top recommendation is Yang Zhentian, the dean of the Weaponry Academy. At her command, Eva projects a profile of the dean. It reveals Yang Zhentian is a 52-year-old, Tier 7 high-rank superpowered individual with an A-rank lightning superpower. He is a master of various weapons, especially the spear, earning him the title Thunder Spear. The profile also notes he once fought an 8th-tier demonic whale for 3 days and nights before killing it alone. The director also provides information on the other 3 potential mentors, but tells Xu Jingming the final choice is his. After reviewing the options, a confident smile spreads across Xu Jingming's face. He notes Dean Yang Zhentian is not only a lightning user, but also a spear specialist, concluding he is the best choice for his mentor. Having made his choice, Xu Jingming heads to the mentor's residential area, a serene compound of traditional buildings in a lush forest. As he arrives at the grand gate of Dean Yang Zhentian's residence, he thinks that a mentor's home is far more high class than the student villas. Before he can proceed, a young man with brown hair, leaning against a stone lion, asks if Xu Jingming is also there to seek mentorship. The young man looks surprised when he realizes Xu Jingming is still an awakened, guessing he must be a specially recruited student. After Xu Jingming confirms this, the other student remarks that in previous years, special recruits were typically mid to high-rank Tier 1 individuals. The student introduces himself as Tan Mingyang, a junior from the Weaponry Academy. Xu Jingming introduces himself as a freshman who just registered. Tan seems impressed, commenting that Xu Jingming is quick to seek mentorship. He explains that most freshmen only learn about this after the freshman competition, which interests Xu Jingming. Tan explains that the freshman competition is a university tradition held a few days after registration. All teachers watch, and students who perform well are sought after by academies, with some even being chosen directly by mentors. He clarifies that while it's not impossible for a special recruit like Xu Jingming to seek mentorship early, trying to become the dean's disciple right after enrolling is as difficult as winning the lottery. Xu Jingming politely thanks him for the explanation and asks if Tan is also there to seek mentorship from Teacher Yang. With a sigh, Tan confirms this, revealing he has made several trips over the past 6 months but has always been turned away. He was about to give up, but decided to try one last time. Just as he finishes speaking, the large doors open, and a middle-aged man, likely a butler, appears, startling Tan. The butler's expression softens as he greets them and informs them that Teacher Yang is waiting inside, inviting them to follow him. Tan is taken aback by the warm reception, wondering if the fact that the dean is waiting inside means he might finally have a chance. The butler leads them into a room where they are brought before 2 men. Xu Jingming immediately feels an incredibly powerful presence from the older man, who has a commanding posture, a full gray beard, and sharp eyes. He recognizes him as the dean of the Weaponry Academy, Yang Zhentian. A younger man with long hair stands beside him. Dean Yang Zhentian addresses Xu Jingming directly, stating that he must be the one Director Zhang Zhaoyu told him about. Ignoring Tan completely, he tells Xu Jingming to follow him to the training room. In a traditional training room filled with weapons, Dean Yang Zhentian tells Xu Jingming that he has seen his martial arts exam video. He praises his combat skills and marksmanship. However, before deciding, the dean insists on seeing his S-rank ability, the Purple Heaven Divine Thunder, with his own eyes. Xu Jingming calmly agrees. As the dean observes, Xu Jingming channels his power, and arcs of purple lightning crackle around his arms. He then unleashes a massive, violent burst of purple and white energy that fills the room, the raw power crackling with immense force. Dean Yang Zhentian is visibly impressed, a grin on his face as he recognizes the S-rank ability. He mentally compares it to his own A-rank ability, acknowledging that the gap between A-rank and S-rank power is impossible to bridge. He sees immense potential in the student, thinking that if Xu Jingming hones his skills, his future could rival his own. With the demonstration done, the dean states that with Xu Jingming's potential, becoming his disciple is not an issue. However, he offers a serious warning. He explains that he has made many friends and enemies. He cannot guarantee his enemies won't target his disciples, and asks if Xu Jingming is still willing to accept him as a master, knowing the risks. Without hesitation, Xu Jingming drops to his knees in a formal sign of respect. With a wide, determined grin, he declares that he is willing. He passionately explains that he admires high-level ability users who have grown strong through bloody struggles. He believes the number of enemies his teacher has defeated is proof of his immense combat ability. Pleased with this answer, Dean Yang Zhentian laughs heartily and formally accepts him. He declares that from this day forward, Xu Jingming is his 32nd disciple and his very first S-rank disciple. Telling him to rise, the dean presents Xu Jingming with his first gifts, a top-tier ability training method called Extreme Ability Training Method, and a body-tempering combat technique called Thunder Indestructible Body, both of which he created. Xu Jingming is stunned by the value of the gifts, realizing a body-tempering combat technique that can strengthen his body is far more precious than an ordinary one. The dean explains that while the ability training method is one of only 3 top-tier methods in the school, the real highlight is the Thunder Indestructible Body technique, the culmination of his life's work. He adds that the technique has been certified by 2 major martial arts halls and has been officially rated as S-rank. The revelation leaves Xu Jingming utterly speechless, shocked to learn of an S-rank combat technique. Combat techniques, like abilities, have their own ratings, from F to SSS. The higher the rank, the more difficult it is to master, but the more powerful it will be. Xu Jingming reflects on this, realizing the terrifying extent of his new master's talent. He knows that most 7th-level masters are exceptional if they can create an A-rank combat technique. For his master to have created an S-rank technique, his martial arts talent is terrifyingly high. Dean Yang Gentian provides more details about his S-rank technique. He explains that the Thunder Indestructible Body is only for lightning element users and has 13 levels. With each level, the user's body undergoes a transformation. However, he clarifies a crucial requirement. To begin cultivating it, one must first advance from an awakened to a true ability user. He then gives Xu Jingming his first task. He instructs him to use the extreme ability training method to achieve his breakthrough. Once Xu Jingming has advanced, he is to return, and the dean will personally help him build the foundation for the Thunder Indestructible Body. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Xu Jingming bows deeply, thinking how much better it is to have a mentor's guidance. The dean then shares a personal motivation, revealing he has only cultivated the technique to the 10th level. He looks at Xu Jingming with hope, stating that if he is unable to reach the peak of a martial saint, then Xu Jingming will be the greatest hope to prove the technique's potential. His eyes gleam as he reveals his ultimate guess. If one can cultivate the technique to its final level, their body can achieve a state of being eternal and indestructible. As Xu Jingming leaves his master's residence, waving goodbye to the butler, he finds Tan Mingyang sitting dejectedly on the steps outside, holding his head in despair. Xu Jingming approaches him and asks what is wrong. It is revealed that Tan Mingyang's attempt to become a disciple failed. He had to face a test against one of the dean's senior disciples. The condition was to defeat the senior, while the latter used only 1/10 of his combat power, a task Tan found hopeless, leaving him beaten. Now sitting on the steps, Tan looks up at Xu Jingming, assuming he also failed. He remarks that getting into Dean Yang's tutelage isn't easy and asks if Xu Jingming needs him to pass on some experience from his failures. Unfazed, Xu Jingming calmly declines, simply stating that he has already passed. The words hit Tan Mingyang like a physical blow. His bruised face contorts in utter disbelief. He exclaims that he has never heard of a dean-level mentor accepting a disciple before the annual freshman competition. As Xu Jingming calmly walks away, a bewildered Tan Mingyang stares after him, trying to understand what just happened. With a new objective, Xu Jingming returns to his dormitory's training room. Sitting cross-legged, he begins to cultivate using the extreme ability training method from his new master. As he meditates, he is amazed by the effectiveness of the top-tier technique, noting the amount of energy he can sense is far greater than with the intermediate-level method. A confident smirk appears on his face. Knowing he has already mastered the principles, he decides there is no need to practice it step by step. Instead, he will use his cheat system to advance directly. He accesses his system panel and commands it to use his ability points to increase his level. The effect is immediate and intense. A surge of energy courses through him, causing him to grunt in pain. He clutches his clothes as raw energy surges through his veins. The power erupts from his body in a massive blast of light and force that shakes the room. A moment later, the energy subsides. Breathing heavily, Xu Jingming pushes himself up, thinking he has successfully broken through. A notification confirms his new status as a first-tier, lower-rank ability user. He examines his hand, where stable, powerful blue lightning now crackles with ease. As he tests his control, a much larger and more potent torrent of lightning flows from his hand, a clear sign of his increased power. Clenching his fist, he marvels at the result. He can feel the power in his body has increased by at least 4 or 5 times. He confidently thinks that if he were to face the second-tier bloodthirsty tyrant bear again, his thunder ability alone would be enough to defeat it. He pulls up his system panel to check his new stats and understands why all ability users want higher-level cultivation methods. He calculates that if he had used the intermediate method, his vitality and spirit would have only increased by 30 or 40 points. But now, using the top-tier method, they have increased by almost 100 points in one go. The gap in results is undeniable. He notes the advancement only cost him 300 ability points, and he decides to save the rest. He knows that learning a powerful combat technique like the Thunder Indestructible Body is even more important. As an S-rank technique, he expects the consumption of ability points to master it will be incredibly high. With his breakthrough complete, Xu Jingming is ready for the next stage. A new thought enters his mind. Since he's at the university, perhaps it's time to visit the school's library. The next day, Xu Jingming returns to his master's residence. Dean Yang Gentian is utterly astonished to see him, questioning how he could have advanced so quickly. The dean paces, remarking that in his 20 years of teaching, he has seen countless geniuses, but even the best took a significant amount of time to transform into an ability user. He notes it has been less than 24 hours since Xu Jingming received the manual. With a bashful smile, Xu Jingming admits that perhaps the only thing he can be proud of is his advancement speed. He adds that when he tried to begin cultivating the thunder indestructible body, he found even the introductory part to be a challenge. The dean listens and explains the process. Forging the foundation involves using the blood of a lightning element beast as a guide, combined with one's own lightning, to temper the muscles and bones. He emphasizes a critical point. The final strength of the technique is related to the grade of the beast's blood used. Now that Xu Jingming has advanced, the dean declares he will help him forge the foundation that very day. He reveals that high-level lightning beasts are rare, and his original plan was to use the blood of a 7th-tier storm giant bear. However, after learning Xu Jingming was entitled to one S-rank resource every year, he made a special request. He decided to combine the resources and pleaded with the university's principal to grant Xu Jingming an even more precious SS-rank resource. With that, he presents Xu Jingming with a small vial containing a glowing red liquid, the essence blood of a ferocious 8th-tier beast, the Thunder Tyrannosaurus. Xu Jingming is deeply moved that his new teacher and the principal would go to such lengths for him. He accepts the vial and vows to repay this kindness many times over. Pleased, the dean says they should begin immediately. They move to a training room where a shirtless Xu Jingming kneels. The dean uncorks the vial and pours the potent, glowing red blood onto Xu Jingming's head and back. Xu Jingming grits his teeth, groaning as the substance makes contact. The dean warns him to bear with it, explaining the blood is highly toxic to low-level users and the intense pain is expected. Next, the dean prepares to use his own power to help. He tells Xu Jingming he will now use his A-rank Windfire True Thunder to forge the foundation, adding that the amount Xu Jingming can absorb is up to him. The dean unleashes his power, a torrent of violent, red lightning, and directs it into Xu Jingming's body. The energy surges through him, causing glowing red patterns to spread across his back and chest. The process is excruciating, and Xu Jingming throws his head back, letting out a raw scream of agony as his body is forcibly tempered by the immense power. 5 days into the tempering process, the senior disciple, Liu, is having tea with the dean's butler, Uncle Fu. Liu remarks on how resilient the new junior is to have lasted for 5 days. He reflects with some jealousy that he only lasted 2 days during his own tempering, which used weaker 7th-tier beast blood. He admits Xu Jingming's performance deserves the 8th-tier dragon-type beast's essence blood. Liu adds that with an S-rank lightning ability, he is looking forward to seeing the result of his new junior's thunder indestructible body. Suddenly, a loud crash from the training room startles them. Liu rushes upstairs, wondering if his junior's foundation forging is complete. He cautiously peeks through the door and is met with a terrifying sight. Xu Jingming stands shirtless and splattered with blood, his eyes glowing red. A chaotic aura of dark energy and blue lightning surrounds him, and he appears to have lost control, looking more like a beast than a human. Liu is frozen in fear, sensing a threatening aura from Xu Jingming like that of a top-tier ferocious beast, which makes him shudder. Lost in this primal state, Xu Jingming sees Liu in the doorway and lunges forward to attack. However, before he can strike, the commanding voice of Dean Yang Gentian roars, shouting for Jingming to wake up. The dean's shout breaks through the bloodlust, and Xu Jingming halts his attack just inches from his senior. Covered in sweat, a dazed Xu Jingming asks his teacher what happened and why he felt an overwhelming urge to destroy things. The dean explains that the essence blood of the Thunder Tyrannosaurus likely influenced his mind. He points out that the beast is famous for its ferocity, and because Xu Jingming's absorption rate and compatibility were so high, he experienced this dangerous side effect. The dean reassures him, telling him not to worry. As long as he avoids intense emotional changes, he will be fine, and the side effects will gradually disappear as his strength increases. A wave of relief washes over Xu Jingming. He looks down at his hands, expressing his fear of being controlled by his emotions. With the crisis averted, Dean Yang Gentian's tone changes to delight. He tells a confused Xu Jingming to cheer up, announcing the forging was a perfect success with an incredible 98% absorption rate. He proudly explains that among the disciples who have cultivated the Thunder Indestructible Body, the highest rate ever recorded was only 92%. With this, Xu Jingming has broken a long-standing record. His senior disciple, Liu, approaches with a congratulatory smile. He tells his new junior that with the foundation successfully forged, his future in martial arts is now smooth sailing. The dean formally introduces him as senior disciple Liu Ming, an ability user at the peak of the 3rd tier, and tells Xu Jingming to ask Liu for help with any future cultivation questions. Xu Jingming greets his senior, who promptly pulls out his phone. Liu explains that since he didn't prepare a gift, he will transfer some credits instead. Xu Jingming is shocked when a notification on his phone says he received 200 credits, exclaiming that it's too much. He quickly calculates the gift is worth 2 million Great Sha coins. The dean dismisses his concern, stating that 200 credits is not a large sum for Liu and that it is a senior's duty to care for his juniors. He adds that when Xu Jingming has his own juniors, he will also need to prepare gifts, a lesson Xu Jingming humbly accepts. With the training complete, the dean tells Xu Jingming that after 5 days without food or water, he should go back and rest. He gives him his next instructions. Come back the following morning to learn fist and spear techniques with Senior Liu. Xu Jingming gratefully thanks his teacher and leaves. Back at his luxurious villa, Xu Jingming finds a young man with spiky white hair and red eyes on the couch, focused on a video game. The young man turns, realizing he's not alone, and greets Xu Jingming, guessing he must be his new roommate. He introduces himself as Liu Wentao. When Xu Jingming introduces himself, Liu Wentao's eyes widen. He excitedly points and exclaims that he is the top scorer from Jiangnan province. When Xu Jingming asks how he knew, Liu Wentao proudly declares his nickname is Mr. Know-It-All, as he knows about most freshmen. He admits he didn't specifically look up Xu Jingming, but the stir he caused was so big he couldn't help but hear about him. He marvels that the legendary Dark Horse top scorer is his new roommate. Putting a friendly arm around his shoulder, he starts bombarding our boy with questions, asking if he is really from Zhangcheng, if he was truly just an awaken during the exam, and commenting that his ability does not look like it's only E rank. Despite the endless questions, Xu Jingming finds he likes the friendly chatterbox. He reflects that he has always hated loneliness. Flashbacks reveal his past, growing up in an orphanage without a sense of belonging. School was better, as he had friends. His happiest memories are from his college days, joking around and playing games with roommates. He recalls getting his master's and PhD, never imagining that after drinking too much at his graduation, he would wake up in a different world. He thinks about how he didn't expect to still be an orphan after transmigrating, but with a roommate like Liu Wentao, he feels he won't be lonely. Meanwhile, Liu Wentao proudly boasts that he is a top student from Sichuan province with an A-rank ability and is currently a first-tier middle-rank ability user. He declares his ambition to major in college tactics and command a military region to slaughter all the ferocious beasts on Blue Star. Changing the subject, Xu Jingming mentions he is heading to the martial arts hall. Intrigued, Liu Wentao decides to join him, admitting he hasn't visited the university's hall yet. They arrive at the impressive Thunder Martial Arts Hall, Magical University branch. Inside, they see a lively and chaotic scene, with students training and showing off their powers. The AI, Eva, appears and explains they are in the public training room, which can hold 300 people. The hall is constructed with C-rank alloy mixed with memory metal, making it durable enough to withstand damage. Eva also points out private training rooms, but Xu Jingming decides the public area is fine. Liu Wentao gets caught up in the competitive atmosphere, shouting with excitement and pointing out an A-rank enhanced werewolf user. Xu Jingming dryly comments that his roommate isn't being quiet himself. Xu Jingming then asks Eva about the large numbered pillars in the center of the room. Eva explains they are punch power challenge boards. There are 5 leaderboards, one for each of the 5 tiers of ability users. She informs them that if they get into the top 3,000 on their boards, they will receive a 50 credit reward. Liu Wentao eagerly accepts the challenge, thinking it sounds easy. Eva clarifies there are just over 4,000 students in the university. Eager for the reward, Liu Wentao decides to try. Eva instructs him to swipe his student ID to start, adding the crucial rule that abilities and combat techniques are forbidden. Liu Wentao eagerly steps up to the pillar and swipes his student ID. The AI, Eva, announces his attempt. His activation draws the attention of older students, who mockingly note he is only a first-tier, middle-rank freshman. Feeling the pressure, a determined Liu Wentao resolves not to lose face. With a loud cry, he unleashes a powerful punch, striking the pillar with impressive force. The result flashes on the screen, a punch power of 476 kilograms. Pleased, Liu Wentao thinks he didn't embarrass himself, and getting into the top 3,000 should be no problem. His pride is short-lived, as Eva delivers a devastating update. His rank is beyond 100,000. Liu Wentao is left in shock, screaming in disbelief and questioning how this is possible with only about 4,000 students at the university. Ava coldly clarifies the leaderboard tallies the scores of all students since the university's founding 100 years ago. The humiliating realization dawns on Liu Wentao. The crowd was waiting to see him make a fool of himself. The older students erupt in laughter, with one remarking how hilarious it is. As his roommate wallows in embarrassment, Xu Jingming offers some consolation, reminding him that as a spiritual element user, physical punch power isn't his strength. A grateful Liu Wentao encourages Xu Jingming to try, certain he will be stronger. Xu Jingming agrees, admitting he wanted to test his strength anyway. He swipes his ID and Eva announces his challenge. The crowd's attention shifts to him, but they are even more dismissive, noting he seems weaker, at a first-tier, lower rank. They doubt his punch power will even reach 400 kilograms. However, one onlooker finds the name Xu Jingming strangely familiar. Meanwhile, Xu Jingming is confident. He reflects on his recent progress, advancing to a first-tier ability user and tempering his body for 5 days and nights to forge his new technique's foundation. A quick check of his system panel confirms his new stats, including an enhanced physique and the Thunder Indestructible Body First skill. He clenches his fist, eager to see what level his punch power has reached. With a surge of power, he throws a punch, and the impact creates a powerful shockwave that ripples through the air.